Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So today I'm going to show you guys how to take a set of rings out of one planner and put them into a TN so you can have rings in your strings. Okay, so to do this you're going to need a couple of things. So the first thing you're going to need is a TN of some description. Any size is fine, it's just whatever rings are going to fit that. So this planner is a personal size planner, so the rings are going to fit really nicely into a B6. So I'm going to use this one. This is from the Planners Anonymous Sunflower and Sunshine TN, or the collection of that. So it is empty at the moment, I've just taken out what I had in it. You're not going to hurt your TN in any which way. You're going to hurt the planner, but you're not going to hurt the TN. So you can use whichever TN you like. Then you're going to need a planner. Like I said, the rings need to fit. So in this case, just doing that means I can tell that that's going to fit. If your TN cover fits around the planner you're going to take the rings out of, then you should be okay. This one is a Kmart one. I bought it for $8. It was on sale. I think it was $10 when it came out. Kmart ones are good for this because they don't cost too much money, and if you break it, it doesn't matter. The other thing you're going to need is a screwdriver. You may also need some other kind of piercing tool, but for now we're going to start off with the screwdriver. So the first thing you need to do is take out all of the paper. I'm probably not going to use this paper, but I will probably use it as an example when I put the rings in the strings. Also take out any notepads at the back. These notepads are generally stuck in a little bit with Kmart planners, so if you have to do some damage to the planner, that's fine. There we go. And then just take the cardboard off as well. Okay, so depending on what kind of planner you've got, you're either going to get the rings out one of two ways. One of them is to undo all the stitching at the top here, and you actually pull it apart and get in behind it. The other way you can do it is I'm going to try and pop out these little rivet things. So I have done this with another planner and I had some success, so I'm hoping I'm going to have the same success now. This particular little metal thing is pretty soft, or at least it was on the other one, so I'm hoping it's still pretty soft. So you just have to kind of get in under the rivet and just sort of deform it so that you can get the rings off. This certainly isn't as easy as my other one. Damn. It may take a while, but you just need to push enough. There we go, that one's starting to move. And you just need to play with that until you can get the rings off. There's a lot of wiggling, a lot of moving. You're probably going to damage the rings at least a little bit. If you're really worried about that, you could put some washi sort of over the rings themselves to protect them. I'm not that worried, honestly. You're not going to notice it. I'm having some trouble with these. When I did the other one, and I'll grab the other planner to show you, it was actually so easy. The rivets came up really easily. I just pushed them and I seriously just pulled the rings off. Because I want to show you how you get the rings off, I don't actually know what's going to happen in this next bit. I'm going to give it a go. I want to take the stitching off and actually pull this apart. Now, like I said, this is an $8 planner. It is not made out of anything fancy schmancy, so I don't mind breaking this one. I would have a problem if this was a Kikki K one, or I might have a problem if it was an Aldi one. I haven't decided. But I'm basically just pulling apart the top and just seeing if it's easier to take it apart once it's actually pulled apart. So I've just undone some of the stitching. I have to do a bit more. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do something really scary. Let's just pull it apart. Let's see what's inside a planner. Has anyone ever seen what's inside a planner? Oh, lots of cardboard. Okay. Righto. So obviously don't do this if you want to keep the planner. I'm just going to go ahead and actually pull this all apart and I'll be right back. Okay, so once we've got that out, this part does not want to come apart. There we go. Completely ruined that, but that's okay. So there we go, that's what the inside of a planner looks like. Board, cardboard, rings. So I'm going to see if I can get these rings out this way. Obviously you could get like an angle grinder or something. I'm trying not to damage the rings. I don't care about damaging the planner, and I have just damaged the rings just a little bit. Obviously I just don't want to damage the planner. It's just hard to get the leverage now because it's in a funny position. Alright, I'm trying to pull these off and I'm having real issues with it. So Ryan's going to get the power drill. We're going to go that little bit further. I was hoping I didn't have to go to this level, but I wanted to show you guys how I do this. I will show you afterwards how easy it was, very simply to get the rings out of the other one. It was pop done. Like, it didn't even damage the planner. I could use the cover again if I wanted to. And the rings came out reasonably easily, so I don't quite know why I'm having such trouble with these ones. But I'm going to try and find a way to get these out, just so I can show you. Obviously this isn't the best way to get rings. If you can buy them cheap off eBay or AliExpress or something, probably easier if you do really want to turn your strings into rings. But this is obviously obviously a more cost-effective, maybe, or a more immediate way to do it. I now have two rings sitting in front of me, and there's a reason why. So this is the one that was coming out of that planner that I just destroyed. Ryan actually had to take it into the, and you can actually still see I've got the rivet still actually in there, and it's actually really sharp. I'm just going to be careful with it. So he had to completely destroy that, pulled the rings out, and he's actually damaged the ring here, so it's actually not going to shut anymore. So not that that's useless now, but it's certainly a lot less. But but it's certainly a lot less useful than it should be. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this with the set of rings that I pulled out of the other planner. I don't know why this one was so much easier to get out. I don't know if I did something really right with it that I didn't do with this one. I think I was doing the same thing both times. But just to show you, you can get them out, but you have to be completely ready to destroy a planner and probably get the power tools and the husband involved, because it's a little harder than it was the first time I did this. But I do want to show you how you can put this into your TN to actually make this a ring planner, because it fits perfectly. So what I do, or what I did, was I sort of want to find where the strings sort of come apart. 4 strings are easier than 6 strings in my experience, but either one works. You just sort of put one, you have to have the rings closed for this, sort of thread them underneath, and then thread them underneath and around. And then what you want to do is you want to grab the part that's actually tied, so the strings that are tied, you want to pull these bits until they're tight. So you can either pull from the bottom or the top, it doesn't matter. Pull from the bottom or the top. You want to make that as tight as you can. So this one here is the loose one. Pull that one again to get it tight. It's a bit of a playing thing here. You try to get it right, get the tension right, which just means you have to play around with some of the other bits. So there we go. So that's got, both of these are still tight. That's the string that's now loose. And it's all it is then is tying this back up again. So you just undo the elastic. All TNs are exactly the same in this way, that they all have that elastic tied like that, at least all the TNs in my experience. Grab yourself the elastic and tie this together. Just put it in another knot again, and you'll just have all of the excess elastic on the end. Doesn't have to be really tight, just tight enough. That sits under there, and that's actually in really solidly. Like, you can move it around a little bit, you can get things under it if you want, but that's not going to come out easily. Yes, it's only put in there with just that. If you want the little bit of extra security, open it up, grab the string from the other side and put it on the inside of the rings like that. And you can do the same thing with the one with the little loopy. If you want to, you can cut that off. I don't want to, but you can. That's pretty solid. That's not going anywhere. And then to show you, once it's got the inserts back in it, these are just the Kmart inserts that came with this planner, so it's nothing too exciting. And there you go. You have rings in a TN, and they're not going to come out. They're a bit, that one's probably a little bit loose if I'm being honest. I could tie that a little bit tighter, but you guys get the general gist. Is it the easiest thing in the world to do? No, it was certainly easier the first time I did it, which is why I thought I'll do a video on this and it'll be awesome because everyone will love it. But it is doable. What I would probably suggest, and I'll have a bit of an investigation and put some links down below if I can find them, is grab yourself some rings off AliExpress or something like that. It might take you 2 or 3 weeks to get them, but if you're someone that loves TNs, you like the floppiness of them, you like the designs of them, especially these Planners Anonymous ones, but you still are stuck on rings, if you're like me and you're stuck on rings, this is a really good way to be able to use your TNs and still use your rings, and it's really only going to cost you the cost of the rings. That's all it is. I'm sure everyone's got a couple of 100,000 TNs sitting in their collection somewhere. So that is it for today's video. It didn't work exactly the way I wanted it to, happy to admit that, but I wanted to show you guys that number one, not all of the videos I do actually work, but number two, you can still try things and fail and still actually end up with a result. Just might be a little bit harder than you thought it was going to be. This one obviously going to include power tools, which is a little bit more dangerous and something that not everybody has. But if perhaps you can get your rings off AliExpress, I'll do a bit of a Google search and see if I can find some, and I'll link them down below. This actually is possible, and it's certainly a way then that us people who love rings can use our TNs as opposed to just leaving them sitting pretty on the cupboard. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to be subscribed to my channel and follow me on all of my social medias. If you do destroy a planner to try and get the rings out, I'd love to see that you do that, because I just think it's awesome to see what's in the inside of a planner. Make sure you tag me on Insta if you do that. Like I said, give this one a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!